We're live in 3,
Oh, no,
2, 1.
It says, you got a Puma shirt on today?
We're live, and Abdul's looking at past videos.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't believe we're live, so take a minute, get you some water, and when I see us on, then I'll start telling you about the Manhood tree. This is the background talk while we get ready for the show.
We got a great guest for you guys today, though.
Yes,
we decided to bring one on today.
We have. I think that's the direction we're going.
No. Look, we're on. Look. See that? We're on. Can we go on now?
No.
Ready? And
it's not on my page.
3. Come on. This is the page.
Hold on.
Look. You can see me talking.
Can they
talking?
So they can see us.
I'm talking.
Yeah. If you go to the Manhood Tree,
good afternoon, people.
If you go to the Manhood Tree page on Facebook, you will see
that we are up.
That we're live, baby.
Hey, there it is. Hey,
good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Manhood Tree Podcast.
Yeah.
My name is Abdul Rahman bin Muhammad. And across from me we have, ladies and gentlemen,
Alonzo Lee.
Welcome back,
Beckett.
Alonzo Lee Beckett. Did you get the call?
I got a call.
You didn't get the call?
What call did I get? No, I missed the call.
I'm gonna officially tell you.
You gave me. I don't get
it. We called you to give you the Abdul Rahman Muhammad, not me, my dad, Community Impact Award.
Oh, no way.
Yes. Yes.
No way. Yeah.
We decided you and Andre Rochester are the recipients of the Community Impact Award this year. We'll be giving that on June 19th at the Social Work Breakfast. So hopefully you'll be around.
I won't be here.
Where are you gonna? Oh, you're gonna miss out. Both of you guys aren't gonna be here.
Good Lord.
That's too bad.
Oh man.
All right.
It's good news though.
Today we have a guest with us. One of the things we like to do with our guests, Hector, is we like you to introduce yourself. We start off the show by saying, "Who are you?" So you can tell the audience who you are from the way you see yourself. So, Hector, introduce yourself.
Well, good evening, people, here at the Manhood Tree Podcast. My name is Hector Amaro. I am a social worker here for My People Community Services, and I'm very happy to be here, finally.
So who are you, though? Like, who are you? Like, is that all you want to say? That you're a social worker?
I'm a proud Puerto Rican.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
You want to go up?
Still feel like I never left home, even though I've been in Connecticut for 9 years now, coming up in September.
Okay. 9 years, huh?
There it is. Yes,
so
big journey.
So that's interesting. Tonight, what we want to talk about. So before we get into our topic tonight, we like to start off the show with a meditation minute. Zoe's been on Super Saiyan mode lately. So I'm gonna throw it back to you. You said you wanted to talk about the 369.
Just really quick.
We talked about this last week, so give them a preface on what we talked about last year while you crunch your peppermint.
Yes. Well, if anyone believes anything like numerology,
yes,
369 are very powerful in the universe. Let's give you a quick example.
Yeah.
I'm not going too deep. Circle.
Circle's
360.
Okay, got it.
Right?
Yep. I'm with you so far.
6 plus 3 is what?
9.
All right. 360. Slide that in half. What's that? Half a circle. What's half a circle?
180.
8 plus 1.
9.
Yeah, slice 180 in half.
180 in half is 90.
What's that?
90 degrees.
No. 9 plus 0 is
9.
Right, so slice 9 in half.
9 and a half, 4.5.
45.
45.
4 plus 5 is
9.
Every time you do it, you double and triple numbers, you get 9.
Yes.
So 9 means 9 represents in like
If we did the same thing with 8, wouldn't that?
No. That's right.
So what am I trying to do?
So like 360, but I'm saying 360 is a perfect circle.
Okay.
It's a perfect circle, divisible by 9.
Yes.
And every time you half it, it's 9.
Yes. It always comes back to 9.
It comes to 9. And if you look at the numbers 0 through 9,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
9 is 0 in all the numbers at once, because you count all the numbers up at once.
Right.
It's 9.
Yes.
So it's also 0 too. So 9 represents 2 things.
9 and 0.
Right. And then 3 is represented in it goes deeper into it, like it's a parallel.
Have you seen the presentation by Terrence Howard when he was talking about 1 times 1 equals 2?
Yep. He's right though. People think it's crazy. Yeah. It makes sense. What he's telling you to do in the calculator, right? You can't. If you time something, you have to have more than it. Correct.
I agree. I don't disagree
That's
with
all I'm
that.
saying.
Now, so talk about the 369 that we've been doing for the last week.
Right. So a 369 and those numbers in the universe are and 9 planets, like 369 is throughout the universe. Okay?
Yes.
So what we're doing is manifestations,
Mm-hmm.
right? Affirmations.
Yes.
So the 369 method is you write down 9 affirmations. You'll say them for 6 days, 3 times a day.
Yes.
369.
Today's our last. Was yesterday the last day?
Yesterday was.
Okay. I'm gonna keep going.
Right. So I keep getting but you know what it was? We didn't listen to the rest of the video.
Yeah.
The change of DNA part happens over 6 weeks.
Oh. Well, you listen to me. I actually feel the difference in myself by doing the 369 over the last week. There's one of mine is number 5 is my body is free from disease. I'm healthy, strong, and abundant.
Mm.
And every time I say that one, I say it with more energy than I say the other ones. And I feel like I've gotten strong. I like more healthy in the last week.
I think it works too, man.
Yeah.
Same thing I say about the money when it's coming.
Yeah.
And this week I've gotten some money. It just came like, oh, thank you.
Yes.
I forgot about whatever. So I think.
Well, the mind is a powerful thing, isn't it?
That's right. It's a powerful thing.
You gotta manifest success.
If you don't, things you say out come true. If you think you're talking about evil stuff or bad stuff or ratchet stuff, whatever, demon time, whatever that is, that always comes up.
It always comes up.
It always comes up. So the positive affirmations work. So I think again, going on to our since you're new, we'll probably need you to jot down 9. You need 9 affirmations for yourself.
So while you're thinking of your 9, I'm gonna read mine out because this is my second time saying it.
I remember mine by heart.
You do?
Yes.
Well, do yours first.
Yes.
I feel like I was getting there, but I'm not. I didn't get on by heart yet.
Yeah, because I changed them. I changed one. I want to change. I'm gonna change it now.
Okay.
I want to change it because I asked you for some information.
Yeah.
My wife gave me information.
Okay.
So one of them was, I am going to receive a grant. That's the new one.
You want a grant? Okay.
I am going to receive a grant.
Yes, I like that.
I am great.
I
am a great father.
Yes.
I am a great businessman.
Mm-hmm.
I will live my life and manifest abundance.
I love it.
I will receive money. It's already coming. I'm just waiting for it.
Right. What number is that?
That's 6.
Okay. You're blinking.
I'm blanking. It was a 6. I blinked out on 6. I don't want to go to my notepad. I am great.
You already used that.
Oh no, I know the last 2. I know the last 2 are. I do not know everything.
Okay.
And I am willing to learn.
I love it. I am a happy person. My life is filled with abundance, joy, and prosperity. I have purpose, and I was born to do something positive that will change the world. I am a better husband, father, son, brother, uncle, and friend than I was yesterday. My body is free of any disease. I am strong, healthy, and able. I can do anything I put my mind to. I will help people in need and not think about recognition. I am financially free, and I have enough to live my life to the fullest and help my children to do the same. And lastly, I love myself, and I spread love everywhere I go. So,
how interesting.
So, 3 times a day, 6 days. Actually, no, we're doing 6 weeks.
Yeah.
For, no.
6,
9, no, 3 times a day, 6 weeks, 9 affirmations.
Yes.
And we're going to change our lives.
Yes.
We're going to change our DNA. We're going to switch it all up.
I believe in that. And coincidentally, believe it or not, I'm ready for this because I actually do a lot of affirmations on a daily basis.
You got
9? I'll hear that I have it written on my phone.
You got 9 on your phone already?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's hear it.
So I am strong and capable of overcoming any challenge.
There we go.
I embrace change and see it as an opportunity for growth.
Yes.
I am proud of my achievements and the progress I make every day.
I love it.
I am worthy of love, success, and happiness.
Yes.
I trust myself to make the right decisions for my life.
Awesome.
I am resilient and can handle whatever comes my way.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in my ability to create a positive future.
Yes.
I am surrounded by supportive and caring people.
Perfect.
That is very important for me.
Yes.
And lastly, I am constantly growing, learning and becoming a better version of myself.
I love
a
it.
better man.
I love it.
Love it.
Those
Yeah,
are
well,
great.
that's-
It's
that's great.
very great that you happen to just have yours.
Yeah.
You came prepared.
Power of notes.
Pull your camera closer because I feel like you got too much. Like I want to just see your face.
You want to see the beard?
More down.
Your beard is
I heard one of our
bearding.
topics
I told him he has something to talk about today.
Oh yeah, he's
Beard update.
his beard is doing great.
Though I'll say it now.
He's making my beard a little jealous.
I won't be naming any brands until we get some sponsorships.
That's right.
Here, so
That's right.
Maybe we can work on that.
All right. So tonight we're talking about transition. Are we really talking about transition? You know, one of the topics in the manhood tree is kind of like, you know, going from young adulthood to manhood. And so, Hector, one of the things that I liked about you being a guest today was that we were talking about internal migration. You know, you moved to Connecticut from Puerto Rico. And so we'll come back. So did you ever move out of the state?
No.
Okay. So I want you to talk a little bit about what it was like for you to move from Puerto Rico. You were born in Puerto Rico, and everybody knows Puerto Rico is a part of the United States. So that's why we call it internal. No passport, right? You can go to Puerto Rico. But I feel like the culture must be different than it is here on the mainland. So what was it like for you to move from Puerto Rico to the United States?
I'll start with, in terms of considering like the differences between expecting a different style of how culture works in the United States compared to Puerto Rico. That might differ depending on the person and exactly where in Puerto Rico you were born and raised.
Mm-hmm.
But coincidentally, in a way, even though it sounds a little absurd, I've been preparing, or I was always preparing, so that at a moment of my adulthood, I would be moving out of Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Why do I say this? I'm one of 6 siblings. I have brothers and sisters, and I have 2 of my older sisters that were born and raised in Connecticut. And I would hear stories of experiences and their livelihood in Connecticut. And something I like to use this example a lot, where I remember hearing at one time, for example, the story of the big bad snowstorms in Connecticut that would cover doors and people wouldn't be able to leave their houses.
Right.
Obviously, family members would hear that and would feel some type of negative way or just, you know, in concern. I would look at it as like amazing. Puerto Rico is a very hot climate territory.
Yes.
I am not a person, unfortunately, that does well around the heat, or I try my best to. I just know that I do better when I'm in a more comfortable environment, meaning colder environment.
Mm-hmm.
So in preparation for here, I remember hearing those stories and thinking, wow, that sounds amazing. I can't wait to have that type of experience. So coming from that, and obviously being born and raised over there and learning so much and preparing this for my final journey here, basically I ended up here because of having the opportunity, after having graduated my bachelor's degree in psychology, to be able to make a change and find something different. It definitely was a significant change. It definitely involved adapting to a new culture, even though I said that, you know, the similarities might vary.
Yeah.
Definitely something that surprised me the most, that I was not expecting, even though I had been preparing for my whole life to move out of Puerto Rico to anywhere in the States, not specifically Connecticut. But in being prepared for so long, still, I wasn't expecting that 2 months into moving here, I already had started noticing some cultural differences that kind of took me aback.
Like what?
For example, I'm going to say this on behalf of my people, but Puerto Ricans are very family-oriented, very caring people. Not to say that people in Connecticut aren't caring people, but there are definitely some things that I guess I'm used to doing on a normal capacity on a daily basis, that when I would interact socially that way in Connecticut, it took me aback where people weren't responding to me as I was expecting them to. Like something like, and this might sound bizarre, opening doors for people.
Okay.
Things that I learned as a young adult, which is called just being a gentleman, for example. Those type of things, I kind of acclimate them to a cultural thing as well. And I know that here, it hasn't been as well received as I would expect.
You gotta go to the South, right? That's what they said.
Yeah.
It's a Southern
I've heard that
hospitality.
as well. I've heard many examples.
No Northern hospitality.
I've heard many examples, many excuses, and many justifications to why I shouldn't be too shocked about the cultural differences that I'm running into here. But hey, it's not to say that it's also on us, those of us that move out of our place of being to be able to be open to acclimate and understand that definitely it's not the same everywhere that you go.
Yeah. So what you might not have moved out of Connecticut, but you went from going to school in the Hartford public school system. You went out to
Oh
Farmington.
yeah, that was like
That was a
another country.
transition, right? Yeah, it was like another.
Yeah.
So what was that like for you?
Went to Europe.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it was very.
You went to Europe. What was that like?
Oh man.
Like I want you to think about when you for the first time, jumped on the bus and went out to Farmington.
I had a preconceptions of how white people are.
Yeah.
So all of it, like you would think. I just had so many things I thought about white people.
Yeah.
That were, and how they smelled, how they looked, how they acted, how they thought about us.
Stereotypes.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
saying like all
of them.
stereotypes.
Right.
Yeah.
So, as a kid, the good thing as a kid, like other kids don't know about that.
And how old were you when you say you were a
Third
kid?
grade.
Oh, third. Oh, you started in third grade.
Yeah, like
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I thought you were actually going to school in Farmington.
Third to fourth grade. Yeah.
Wow.
So I was there the whole time. It was but the great thing, I had Miss Mendenhall. She was a teacher, black teacher, lived in Hartford.
Okay.
Loving it.
Little support.
Loving it.
She was out there.
Yes. And she used to know what she used to do. I still have my grandmother has them in her photo album. She used to give me like weekly awards.
Oh wow!
Like great job on the spelling bee.
Just keep you going.
Yes, even if I got a 7 out of 10, 6, she was just doing it. But I had all these from her. But she would like make sure because it was only me in the class.
Right.
Like,
oh, you be the only black kid? Jeez.
Because Marv was there, but Marv before the year I got there, Marv acted up and his mom had him stay back.
Oh wow!
So he stayed back. So he was always a year behind me. So I was there by myself.
So y'all went together. You knew
he was
Marv
here before me.
Oh, he was okay.
And I came the year after. We were in the same grade, but he got kept back.
You got kept back.
So I didn't
get to see them
until
till lunchtime.
Mike and them were like 2 grades, 3 grades ahead of me.
Right.
But
wow.
Yeah, so it's all, and the kids were great. It was the adults.
Right.
The adults.
So I've had a number of moves in my life. I moved to Connecticut. I felt like that was when I look back, it was kind of a little bit traumatic to when you're in high school because you decided you wanted to come to Connecticut.
How old were you?
21.
21.
Well, actually, 20, and I turned 21 2 days after I moved here.
Right.
Not planned.
You were in third grade. I was a sophomore in high school. And I had already started forming my identity. And so when I moved to Connecticut and I lived in West Hartford, I was just kind of like, yo, I'm from New York, yo. I'm not dealing with these people. And I think that it really hindered me because obviously I didn't do very good in school. I always, I didn't make very many friends because I was always on some like, I'm going back to going home. I'm going back to New York. I'm going back to White Plains. And I feel like even all the way going into college. So when I went back to film school in Manhattan, and I still used to go to White Plains and everything. But one of the things I had to learn is that once you leave, you're gone. That's how I felt. It's like when I started going back, my friends had kind of like, we could chill, but in a way, different. They moved on. They have a story about what they've been doing over the last 2 weeks. They see each other every single day. And here I come up on the weekend and I'm leaving that night or whatever the next day. And so I used to feel kind of some kind of way about that. What about you? So when you go back home, how do you feel?
You still have your same friends and all, like the same people?
Yes, definitely. Throughout the years, because of transitions and regular life transitions, people change. But hearing your story, Abdul, I for some reason, if it's okay to say, I felt happy because that's not my experience. When I go back, I'm lucky enough to have a circle of friends, that style of circle of friends that you can say that you don't see each other in person for so long, but when you reconnect, it's like if you were just with them the day before.
Okay, that's great.
That has been my experience, which is why every time I've been able to go back to Puerto Rico just for vacation, I come back renewed. It's a whole thing.
Right.
Whole thing.
Okay.
What
about you?
I think that might be like a cultural thing too, like the island. Like you're saying, like I think we're more tapped into the matrix, so to speak, in America.
Yeah.
Other countries aren't.
Right.
So they do spend more time together. They do. Like we set aside. Let's go do the dominoes tournament. We set aside stuff. There's just so much going on. You got to like pull people away.
Right.
I don't necessarily think in other countries don't have so many. There are things going on, but it's not as many as we do. So they can concentrate on what we consider as important things.
Yeah. I would I wish I had that. I mean, now like I said, I could still go see my friends, but I don't feel like it's the same as when I used to live there. You know, and I just at some point I had to get to the point where it's like I'll see him when I see him. Mm-hmm. It's not so much where like every day I for a long time every day I thought about White Plains. Every day I'd be like, I'm gonna run away. I'm gonna do, you know I was going back to White Plains, but at a certain point once I got to college. Then I was like, okay, I can't keep saying I'm from White Plains because I actually live in Connecticut. So I started saying, okay, I'm from Connecticut. And I feel like that was the thing with me is like you're Puerto Rican. You feel like that's a part of your identity, right? Yes. And so for a long time, I felt like being from White Plains, New York was a big part of my identity. And but one of the things that I grew up in a era of keeping it real. So I don't want to say, yo, I'm from White Plains, but I haven't lived there in 3 years. Right. And I felt like I had to let it go in a way. Like just, I'm from Connecticut. I'm from West Hereford, guys. And I'm just going to roll with that. Hey. So what was it like striking out on your own? Like, so it's one thing to say, okay, there's different culture and all that stuff, but you're like coming to, basically, if you would have gone to a different part of Puerto Rico, you would have been striking on your own. So as a man, what was it like for you to come to the United States, get a job, go to school, and kind of like have to take care of yourself where you have more support at home?
I'm going to be completely honest, through my own fault. It was definitely, and it is still definitely very empowering, but also daunting. I'll say this to myself, this is the immaturity part of me coming up, but I'm a 30-year-old still holding back to a little bit of that youth, that essence that I felt I had before moving here. And with the youth and that essence comes the fact that as you grow, more and more responsibilities come about,
right?
And adulthood happens. So I feel like dragging home with me every single day is a smoothing reminder of better times, and it kind of keeps me going. Yes.
Okay. What about you, Zoe? You when you struck out on your own, how old were you when you struck out on your own, and what was that like to go say like I'm about to go get my first apartment, go live somewhere else other than home, try to make it by myself? What was that like for you?
Well, straight. Well, after high school, I was supposed to go play I was supposed to go to Boston College.
Oh wow!
And then
you're gonna get a scholarship?
Yeah, but
wow.
not partial.
You're really good, huh?
Right. That was a whole different life ago. But so I was supposed to go to Boston College.
Right.
And then I had to wait for the other half of the scholarship money to come through or whatever. So this is like August. And I was home, and everybody was around. And it was like, man, I can't stay here. I just couldn't stay there. So I ended up not waiting. Right. I was like, I don't want to wait. So I ended up going to Eastern with my coach. He's the Hall of Fame, so I can get you in Eastern. You go there. If you're great, you're great, no matter where you are. That was my whole thing.
Yes.
So that's when I ended up going to Eastern to try to find out, like, what should I do? Because I didn't want to be at the house the whole time. Because most people, once you get to high school, you go home. At least in my family, they just stay home.
Right.
So I was like, I had to go somewhere. So that's why I went to Eastern, and that kind of changed everything because I met a bunch of people. Most of the friends I meet now in my life are from college. From Eastern, I learned, through trial and error, like what to do, what not to do. Played on the basketball team, learned about that. So I went through a lot of life. But that probably was my turning point with no advice to nobody from anybody. I just didn't want to be home anymore. So I kind of figured out, like, how can I get in there? Can you help me? What do I gotta go do? I gotta go over here, and then I figured that part out.
So you feel like when you went to college, that was you striking out. So after that, you never went back home?
Not going to college straight from high school.
Right.
Because I was supposed to go to Boston College.
Yeah.
Like everyone in the high school was like, "You're going. Oh, that's gonna be great."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm about to go to those
the D1, right?
Yes, those Big E's." I'm like, "Yo, it's gonna be dope."
Right.
And then over the summer, it was like, it wasn't happening as fast as I wanted to. So I feel like a failure because I'm not going anywhere. Then September comes around, everyone's going to school.
Yeah.
Not me.
Right.
All my friends still basketball dudes like, "Yeah, I'm home." Like, "Yo, man, I'm just about to go where coach at. Yo, where coach went, I'm just gonna go play over there."
Right.
And that's when I decided, like, it wasn't about the name. It's about just getting into school and just going to do it. And if you're great enough, good enough, whatever, if it all turns out the way it's supposed to, it'll turn out.
It'll be fine.
So that's why I felt, well, if I didn't do that, I would probably still be, I don't know.
You don't know what would happen.
I don't know what would have happened, but I know just making myself go and do that going to do that, going through the whole process of getting into Eastern.
Yeah.
Then I got into there. I met everyone down there. I'm kind of associated with it comes from that decision. Like almost everybody.
Right.
Like you're through that decision.
Yeah.
Cause I learned how to edit.
Didn't you go to school with my brother too?
Right. Yes. Your brother was there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like, that one decision turned everything.
Right.
Right.
So it's interesting. I don't consider when I went to college like striking out.
Mm-hmm.
Like me going out and being a man. I felt like when I went to film school, and I learned that I'm not really actually into film. Like I wanted to be in films, but I didn't really want to be in films. I didn't want to be an actor,
Right.
and I didn't want to be a director. So I was like, when I started looking at the difference between my projects and my like classmates' projects, I was like, this is definitely not the right place for me. So I had a very early failure in my life. Like I had to come back. I came back home after my first semester. And so imagine 6 months prior, my yearbook was like, "You're gonna be the next Spike Lee, blah 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 blah."
Yeah.
And then even 6 months before that, I missed my senior year playing basketball. So I never even got a chance to find out if I could have got a scholarship. Right. Because I had an operation right before basketball season, and that operation made me miss the whole basketball season. Wow. So it was basically like one of those situations where all of my life up until my senior year, I was going to go to Syracuse in my mind and play basketball. And so now here I am a senior, and I never even got a chance to go anywhere. I didn't get one scholarship, one letter, nothing. Wow. And it's crazy because I could have been very like depressed, but I was like, I must have been young and energetic because I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to be a filmmaker. And so I switched my whole like personality, my persona from being a basketball, like being identified as a basketball player to being a filmmaker, even though I had never done anything with film. I had never written a script, none of that stuff. But I started like talking like film stuff. I used to, you know what I'm saying, high school, my last semester, I was like young Spike Lee.
But you turned it over. I had a hard time not being a basketball player.
Right.
For the longest, man. That's all people knew me as like sometimes it's funny when people come up to me, like I did something with Legacy this weekend.
Yeah.
I brought Zoe. Some guy, he's watching my bad. I don't even know who he was, but he was like, "Yo, man, he's like, what up, man? You know how you do it, you know."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yo, man, your dad used to do all this crazy stuff and dunking and stuff." It's like, Zoe's like, "You did?" I'm like, yeah. But and he left. He's like, "Zoe, that's like a whole different person." I don't remember half the stuff he's saying.
Yeah.
Right, but I remember when I had no other identity.
Right.
Or just the fifth down type. Like all I did was play basketball. Then I got hurt my second year in college. I blew my knee out.
Right.
So then I had to be. That's when I started editing, and I stayed more time editing.
Yeah.
But then I came back, and it was okay, but it was harder to like maintain. I couldn't just be
normal.
I couldn't just walk in the gym and start dunking. I had to go to rehab, do all this stuff extra. It was so much harder.
Right.
And then I didn't have that, and it was embarrassing to myself. Like, I used to like to work hard. This was different type of work hard.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I know that feeling. Like it's like when we were doing yoga the other day. You guys are doing yoga, and it's like, yeah, it's hard, but it ain't like you got to stop.
Right.
But for me, I have to stop. And I know what my body feels like when I'm fully healthy. I wouldn't have to stop. I'll be like the rest of you guys.
Right.
But it's like that extra hardness makes it where you're like, pause. It makes you kind of like, say like, yo, this is not as fun. It's not like, for you it might be challenging, but it's not hard.
Right.
For me, it's hard. It's like I am about to faint right now. Like I'm about to faint.
And that's a good example because that's when I realized the difference between that.
Yeah.
Between being like hard.
Yeah.
And like difficult. Like,
yes.
I could do difficult.
Yes.
I'm good. I could push through difficult.
Yes.
When it got hard to the point where like my knee wouldn't fit. It just never felt the same.
Right.
And I was scared to do certain things. When I used to get in the game, I remember I used to play. I tore my right. After the game, I played the whole game.
Yeah.
Right. Then I just do different things. I'm not like myself. I wouldn't go try to jump and knuckle it. And my left leg would be the next day so sore.
Right, because you would put more energy on the left leg.
And then I could never like do it. I would always favor it, like subconsciously. And even though I start dunking again, it's the same thing.
Right.
I could never get that out of my head.
Yeah.
I just the pain of that. I just to this day, I remember all the pain. I
Yeah.
remember all the pain. How hard. I had an infection in my leg for like 6 months. It was crazy.
Right.
Do you consider all of that experience, though some of it didn't sound completely ideal, but do you feel like you grew from all of that and you learned enough that made you the man you are today?
I mean, I think I had to, right? I had to either they sink or swim. I couldn't. It was it's like the worst thing I had to go through. Then when I realized that, I used to think, I need to be able to make more money. I need to make money off of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? My mind can't get, if I keep it sharp, my mind can't tear the ACL.
Right.
Right? I was jumping. I was one of the people you go in and just jump. And I just do all types of crazy stuff.
Right.
And then when that's gone,
yeah,
it's just gone. Now I'm just regular.
Normal guy.
That's what I was thinking.
You could fly.
Superpowers is gone at like 21, gone. I couldn't jump like that anymore. I could shoot.
Right.
So could everybody else. But the jumping part was I didn't have to do nothing the whole game.
Right.
I remember I used to jump in the game and I could hear the whole crowd go.
Yeah.
I used to love this. I used to do that just to hear that. I think like
you might do something.
Right.
Yeah.
But, that was like a hard part of my life, man. Just to get rid of that.
Experience.
In retrospect, when you think back, and I mean, so it's interesting. Hector is the age of my daughter. Like
no way.
He could be my son. You're probably.
He can't be my son, can he? No?
Yeah, he could be your son. Like, you forgot. You're 2 years younger than me.
It's a great beard.
If you could grow a beard, everything else is great.
Everything is.
My point is though, when you think back, so yourself at 30 and yourself at 21 when you or 20 when you first came here, time went by fast, right?
It did. Flying by.
But what do you wish you knew more of? If you could think of that time coming here, some of the choices you were making, some of the decisions you were making, what were some of the things you might say, man, I wish I knew more of this to help me out in this transition period?
Well, definitely, I'll stay in the same topic of the cultural differences. Understanding more about that, or possibly learning more about that beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Also, my decision to move here, though I did say originally that it was mostly planned throughout my upbringing, the immediate decision to move here was kind of impulsive. I've tended to recognize myself with those tendencies to have sort of impulsive tendencies, but I see them as positive impulsive tendencies because sometimes I know myself to overthink and hold back.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when I have a great idea or it's just something just feels right, I jump at it because what's the worst that can happen? If I fail, you can always learn from failure, and if I succeed, well, keep on going. Right. So I see this.
Oh, wait, I gotta.
Yes.
I got a saying. Someone told me.
Yeah.
He gave this. He said, he said fertilize to make flowers. You must add shit.
Oh. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. You gotta have positive energy.
No, because the fertilizer is.
Yes.
Yeah. Saying that to get flowers,
right?
You must add shit. So you're gonna go through shit. That's the whole microcosm. You're gonna go shit. You're gonna go through shit in your life.
Yeah.
Just like you need manure to grow the flowers, the good flowers. That's what you mean when you said that. I started.
It just jumped in there. Okay. Yeah.
And thank you for sharing that. Besides that, I'll also say, ideally, not just for myself, I'm sure for everybody that goes through the same experience I went through, but having a little bit or as much information about the job market as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I also, in that impulsive decision of moving here, came here with an understanding of how things ran. And when I got here, I quickly realized that wasn't the case, no matter how much Google research I had done beforehand and whatnot.
Right.
I'll give a quick example. Ideally, when I moved here, I had an understanding that I was easily going to be able to enroll into UConn during the springtime, just like I would have enrolled in a college in Puerto Rico, basically in the springtime, the half of the time of the semester. No, not in UConn. Obviously, UConn has pretty high standards, pretty big commitments,
right.
And
so you were trying to go to UConn for your master's degree initially.
Correct.
Where did you land when you came here? You came
right here.
Why did you come to Connecticut?
His sisters.
Correct. I had some background with some of my sisters who originally, one of my older sisters was the one who kind of cemented the idea.
They were born
and raised here.
Okay.
Yes. So
you missed that first part of the whole show?
I was doing some stuff over there. I was trying to get everything situated.
Yeah.
But definitely having them or knowing that I had some familiar background in this state helped me even more so with that impulsive decision, because I knew if anything were to happen, in my mind I thought it's not like I'm completely by myself. Right. I could possibly make a call and see what happens. But overall, this whole transition definitely, besides knowing a little bit about the cultural differences, knowing a little bit about the job market, more importantly, knowledge of local resources and support systems that I could find. I was lucky enough to be able to quickly immediately start receiving or meeting and being introduced to support systems that slowly but surely have led me to where I am today.
You spoke English immediately when you came here, right?
So that's an interesting thing. I maybe should have mentioned in the beginning, but I've been speaking, or I have always, or not have always, but I've been speaking English since I was in kindergarten. Believe it or not, this is the quick tidbit story that I remember hearing from my upbringing. Starting kindergarten for the first 3 months since August, I would go back home and it would be like a whole I hate this school, I hate English, I hate learning, I hate it. After that, it was everything English, everything. I loved the school. I loved everything I was doing. It was like a switch in my young mind. Don't ask me how it happened, but I do retain the knowledge that for me, I've always found English to be easier to understand, to comprehend, to use in my schoolwork. Spanish was always hard for me, believe it or not, even though I was born and raised in Spanish-speaking island.
No digas conmigo.
But you know what made it easier? Because it wasn't like funny. But it wasn't like at my home we had like an English speaking household. No, it was all in Spanish. But what helped was I was like very much into Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, like all of these gaming. I had the first PlayStation, the GameCube, all those things. Like slowly but surely, you think kids aren't really learning things. You just think they're playing or watching TV. We're all learning in every capacity. So that I know that was a consistent method of practice that I use. Plus the fact that my circle of friends commonly all just like me were bilingual. So keeping that practice of I do know that it's hard for some. For me, it just thankfully was pretty.
It sounds like it's your first language.
Yeah,
that's sometimes what I even think myself.
No,
but
it sounds like that.
So what about you? When you think back to, going like your transition, you went to college, you got hurt, so your plan wasn't quite the same. Where would you think you might have needed more support, or wish you knew more about before you went to college and made that first jump out into the world?
Resources. I didn't know where to get any resources. I didn't even know what resources I need.
Yeah.
I had to find out what I needed as I went.
Yeah.
Like, I think I would like I didn't know there was no where you could gather and a bunch of men talk about maybe their experience and how they went through it. How it is now. Like, you can pop up on Facebook and watch Malik or watch Demetrius or watch yourself say a bunch of things. You be like, and just follow you.
Right. And you'll get something.
There's no one back then.
We didn't have the internet.
We didn't have none of that. We didn't have any. Internet came in 1999.
That's right.
I graduated college then. So after college, internet came.
Right.
YouTube, whatever. So the resources. Because I always thought that that's why we equate things that Malik was saying to sports. If you're a great coach, if you're a coach, and people told me I'm supposed to listen to you, I'm going to listen to you.
Right.
And I did it sometimes to the fault of sometimes. You should score more. You should know. He said I need to do this, man. I believe him. He's a grown, whatever.
Right.
So, a coach, maybe a life coach, or whatever coach. I didn't have those when I was younger. And if I had those when I was younger, I would have stuck to them like glue. Yeah. Because after basketball's over, most of the times in the hood, the coach leaves you.
Yes.
He done because he can't do nothing. But I still need you, coach, for life.
Right.
But you can't dribble no more.
Yeah.
That's how most coaches do it.
Right.
You can't run no more.
They gonna get a new guy.
So they need a coach like a life coach. I'll be there for the basketball. When the basketball over, boom, we're gonna switch to this.
Yes.
That don't work, boom, because this is what happens in life.
Right. Right.
When you're young, they make you feel like
it's like a father. You need a father. That's what we're talking about, right? You need somebody that's gonna be there for forever. Right. They're gonna be in your life, not just because you're good at something,
right?
But even if you're not good at something, so
you're good at the thing is you're good at something.
Yes,
just not that.
You just gotta find something.
Right. You just can't throw the football.
Right.
That don't mean you don't have a great mind to do something else, right? So it's the coach is going to just nurture that. A father, like you said, is going to nurture the whole kid, the whole being. Like, I don't care what you are. I don't care if you can't chew.
I'm not turning your back on you.
Right.
Even if you never do a sports again, I'm still going to be there for you.
As long as you're interested and you trying, I'm with you. I got as much enthusiasm as you do.
It's interesting for you to bring that up because it's kind of like when you do have an engaged father, you have like a backup plan. Like I always knew I had a backup plan. Like a lot of my opportunities. I was thinking about I don't know why I was thinking like what would they say about me, after I was gone? Like if I died, what would they say about me? Then I was saying like I've done some pretty good stuff, so you could say some good stuff. But I think that was the same thing like with my dad. He when I got out of college, I had a job. I got and he could give me an opportunity. He say, I can get you in the door. You got to after I get you in the door, you got to do your own thing. And so I think that when you have somebody to talk to, you can kind of bounce things off, or even just watch them. Like I could. A lot of times, I used to just say, okay, today I'm just gonna do my best impersonation of my dad. I'll go to this meeting, and I'm just gonna put on a suit, and I'm just gonna go in here and look like or talk like I know what I'm talking about. And I could use that as like a cheat code. Some of those early meetings, he would even come with me. Like when we first started My People, he would come with me to the meetings. And I got to the point where I started realizing I have a different style than him. Even like as I got like more confident, I was able to start saying like it's funny because I see that in Dayshell now. Like we'll be in a meeting sometime, and in the past it would just be like the Abdul show. I'd be talking. Now it's like she's talking. Today I was in a meeting, I almost fell asleep because she was talking so much. I was like, what the hell? But the point is that I think when you talk about support, having the support of your parents, maybe having an older sibling, having somebody that you don't have to pay a fee to get their love, to get their support.
You don't have to impress them.
You don't have to impress them.
You don't have to impress them to get the love, regardless.
You want to jump in on that?
Yeah, I was gonna say in that same, and not only family members, but your community, like support system.
Yes.
That neighbor that has always been friendly and caring and a mentor to you. I always felt in my upbringing that those were the support systems. The adults that supported me that I felt most comfortable sharing things or back and forthing with because of fear of not meeting my parents' expectations.
Right. They were
That was
easier
kinda
on
like
you,
my
right?
experience.
They didn't have as big expectations.
Correct.
But when you won, they were like with you when you win. And even if you lost, they might give you a little pat on the back.
And not just that, but many times, and I view it now as an adult, and I understand it now. I wish I would have understood it then. But many times, they would be telling me the same things my parents would tell me.
Right.
But because it wasn't my parents telling me, I would understand it
felt
better, and it just made sense.
Yeah. So what was the most difficult part about transitioning from young adult to manhood? Now, just keep in mind, better than most that you being 30, you just left young adulthood and moved into manhood, according to the manhood tree, right?
That's when I had my son at 30.
So you're still early in the game, but I'm gonna start with Zoe on this one. What was the most difficult part about transitioning from? So you struck out into the world. You went to college. After you got out of college, did you go back home?
No.
So after college, you were just out in the world.
In college, see, this is what I was saying. In college, what I figured I would do was talk about support. So I know if I didn't live on campus, I lived off campus.
Right.
The school would support me, so I could live off campus, pay my rent. But I would get a job.
Yeah.
And I could mess up the money, and I would still get the support from the campus, like the loan or whatever.
Right.
So in college, when I was my sophomore year, I lived off campus. So I learned the bills, like cable bill, light bill, all those bills.
Right.
To kind of like set me up. I was thinking for when I get older, when I get out of here.
Yeah.
And that was the most challenging part. When I left, it's like, all right, now I have bills.
Yes.
I have rent, and I got to manage all that. Again, I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
And no one was there to help me because most people in my family had money problems, and around the way, money's the worst thing you can ask somebody. Like, how much? They don't want to talk about money issues at all.
Yeah.
So no one's telling me financial literacy at all, so I'm figuring it all out by myself.
Yes.
So that's the scariest part.
Yeah. I was going to jump in to say, I feel like I wish I could have gotten more, like as my kids get ready to go to college, I wish I could have got more information about like scholarships and, like somebody, like I feel like while I was trying to be a basketball player, somebody should have set me down and say, yo, you need to get some better grades so you could get these scholarships, because in the future, you're going to be paying $500 a month for your whole life. Like, and so I feel like we don't talk enough about that. Like you said the loans, but it's like, so you were taking your refund check, paying your rent, as we all did, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that refund check is
Back,
actually you
borrowed
still
money,
owe
yes.
money on that.
Yes. So no one talks. It's no as much as we have now. So I tell the kids, we say it all the time. You're so lucky. You mean because if you don't know about, there's so many resources to tell you about that.
Yes.
You can go talk to someone. Someone's always willing to talk to you. When we were young, no one was willing to talk to you about any of that.
Right.
And if you did, it was like you felt like it was the upper echelon of people. The money, the tax bracket was different. That's why they know all these things.
Yeah.
And you're not supposed to know them.
Right.
And the way you live is the way your mom lived and your grandfather lived. Everybody lived. That's how you're supposed to live.
And we want something different.
Right. And no one knows. It's like a big secret. Like no one knows. Like even like this, we're young. The stocks.
Right.
What's that? What's wrong with you? What? Like they had no knowledge of it. There's no way we could learn about it unless we were Encyclopedia Britannicas. You buying like you just didn't know.
Right.
So like the information part now is at a point where you have no excuse.
It's out there.
You have no excuse for anything. It's people going to. There's scholarships for living on Vine Street. There's just so many scholarships for this money you just don't know.
And grants to your point. Yeah. So what's your most difficult transition? You're in it. You're like right in the mix of it, going from being a young adult to moving into manhood. So what is the hard part right now? Like live.
Definitely still balancing my independence and my responsibilities.
Yeah.
Again,
so bills, they think like
correct. My financial
you want a pay raise, your boss ain't paying you enough? This is your chance. Say it live.
Go ahead. This is a chance, baby.
Say it.
This is it right here.
Don't
Speak
say
it
it.
with your chest.
I'm not going to say it. No, I'm not going to be in that trap. It's a trap for those towers.
Go viral. We can go viral right here.
But definitely, I mean, it's the truth. Managing finances, I can see other adults or older coworkers of mine that have been in this environment and in this work environment for longer than I, and they still also struggle doing the same things or even more than what I'm doing currently. So I understand that it's a process that I believe that we all have to go through. Unfortunately, most of us are not of that 1% that is born with a silver spoon. But even then, they have struggles as well. So it's a part of managing life.
I heard today when I was in the car, Hunter Biden was in his book. He was talking about how he was a crackhead, and so it's like think about that. You talk about people with a silver spoon. Like his father is the president of the United States.
Give him the best crack you can get. And he's, you know what?
And that's what made me start thinking about legacy right there. It's like, think about it. Your father's the president. Think about the pressure, because his father's always been a senator. Yeah. Then his father was the vice president. Now his father's the president. And then so he's like, yo, I'm just going to get into some stuff. Because you don't want to have to try to live up to that. Like, so it's a lot of pressure. So I could see why he might use crack, but...
And it's crazy but he'll live to be like 90.
Oh yeah, we're gonna hear his story forever.
Juju in the corner.
So in that same line, I'm not gonna say that I'm comparing myself to Hunter Biden's life.
Don't be like Hunter Biden.
Definitely not. Yeah. But I can say that in both upbringings, different circumstances, but the same struggle in regards to finding that purpose and direction that we all have to find, especially getting into cycles of life, like you just said, I'm transitioning into manhood, and all of that. That doesn't go away. Yeah, it's just a matter of. So are
you looking for your purpose right now? Are you looking for the thing that gets you fired up, makes you want to jump out of bed in the morning?
I'm going to give you my honest answer. I feel like
give yourself honest answer.
Wait, answer that, and also answer this. You're 30, man.
Yes. 30. So I started. You said you had a kid when you were 30.
I got married and had a kid.
I started my people when I was 31 years old.
Wow. Right there it is. So there's two big life things happening.
And I just got married. I got married the year 2 years before that.
See that?
So it's like I know what it's like to be 30.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I mean.
So you're actually at a very great part of your life.
Yes.
It's like it is the time when you take your shot.
You got to choose who you want to be in your life now. You got a chance. You can choose
this
that.
This is it.
You're true right now. I'm just saying, I chose at 30. We probably chose before then, but I was married at 30, about 30.
Right.
20. So at that point in time in life, we chose someone to be with.
Yes.
So you know what? And the reason why, I think, if you think about it, that calmed everything down for everything else. I didn't have to worry about dates and all. I didn't have to worry about it. So that's a whole part of my life I had to worry about. I could just go home and she cooked and we food. Then we had a son and he was there. It simplified my life to make me do what I wanted to do easier. I didn't have to worry about chicks.
Mm-hmm.
Dudes doing, I want her house, this house. I didn't have to worry about it.
It was one less checkbox you had to worry about.
So that focused me on me being like, right, just do what I need to do. So you're at that point now where like some dudes be like, nah, they still ride 20s or the 30s like the 20s.
Yeah.
Not realizing
you got privilege. But the thing is that to your point, I think that me having a wife, I had somebody that believed in me. So, because all I needed was somebody to believe in me. Like when I said to Deshelle, hey, I'm about to quit my job and I'm going to go try to start my people. If she would have said, nah, B, I'm pregnant, we about to have a baby, you can't quit your job. I would have probably been like, yeah, you're right, man. What was I thinking? And I would have stayed at my job, and then we would have, at some point, that itch to try to do something would have gone away. But I might have also become more depressed, not feeling like I could accomplish the things I wanted. By her saying, go ahead, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, give it a try.
That's the battery.
It was like, boom.
It was the charge.
And I knew I had a short window. You know, I had to be able to make something happen in a certain amount. And when I think back, it was like, I used to say crazy stuff. Like, it'd be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? It'd be like crazy ideas, but they would come true because it was like my destiny. It was like, it was my time. And so in retrospect, you are in that spot right now where you got your education. You know, I had my master's degree by the time I was 30. And you said you're looking for your purpose. I think I always like had ideas, things I was trying to do, but I was like locked in. I was like, yo, I'm going to do my people.
Yes, you're going to find out now. When I was like, same, yeah, you're going to find out.
Yeah, this is the time.
To do.
Yeah. So I want to transition this conversation because I feel like this is a great conversation for young men who are coming into manhood. Mm-hmm. It's really like, I think the thing that you said that was key is like, I think the more you can identify your purpose, like you can answer the question, why am I here? What is the reason why I was born? What can I add to society? Mm-hmm. It's going to do something for your life. It's going to make it. So it's like, so over the next year, if all of a sudden you decide you want to quit my people and go get it, I say go get it.
And I'm sure my people will be back there to support me.
We'll support you too.
Yeah,
of course.
But I say go get it. This is the time to go get it. You're young. You're never gonna be so young.
You're as young and as old as you'll ever be. Right
now.
Right now.
You're never gonna be so. And the other thing is that you're free. You're healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I had already had kidney failure first time. I had my kidney now. I was feeling like I gotta try. And I'm saying the same thing to you. Okay. You got to go try. Yeah. Whatever the idea is.
That's true.
You know, whatever you love, will use like most of the one of the tricks of being successful, I think, is doing something that you would do for free. Yeah. And a lot of people say that. They say, all you got to do is no, but you got to actually go do it for free. Yeah. If you knew the amount of stuff to this day that I do for free, that I should be paid for, but I don't care because I love it. Right. Yes. So you need to like take some time to do an analysis of yourself and ask yourself, what would I do 100% for free and I would get joy out of it? Like right now, we're doing a podcast for free. We don't have any sponsors. We need a sponsor.
And people will pay you.
Other than my people, the Heart Foundation for Public Giving. Who else paid for this?
We need some beer product sponsors as well.
No, we don't do beer. That's Zill stuff. We got to do that on another show. We're 100% drug free.
It's craft crew.
Yeah, no, 100% drug free. We don't want any crack. No beer.
No crack.
We don't want no Hunter Biden. We don't want any beer. We want water. We want a water sponsor. Because we drink the Manhood Tree water. Yeah. We want anything positive, anything that's like, you know, just stress free. But hopefully you got our little motivation out of that.
I did, and I'll briefly just give you the quick answer from your original question. I feel like I've had so many purposes that I've wanted to achieve since I was a little kid, to the point where I recall stories being told to me about my great grandmother where, before kindergarten, they wouldn't find me around the house, and you would look, and I would be in the middle of the house wearing a robe, and doing like I was doing a church sermon.
Oh.
From there, I wanted to be an archaeologist. From there, I wanted to work in social services. And slowly but surely, I've been able to attach all of my wants and all of those particular purposes and tied them to the things that I do today.
Mm-hmm.
Something that caught my attention when you spoke about originally during your college years trying to do theater. No, you didn't say theater. You said production and film.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, when I was in high school, I got the opportunity to be able to attend a school that was like half and half a theater specialization school.
Yes.
I remember back then, originally when I went into the school, I had to audition. It was a whole thing. My purpose was to be in theater, to be out there, maybe possibly end up in TV, be famous, right?
Be a thespian.
Something like that.
Thespian.
Understandably, throughout my experience in that school, I learned that maybe that wasn't really my thing.
But you need to
try it out.
But for sure, you would be. I surprised myself, and it's interesting that I didn't catch the things that surprised me until I had like my mom and others around me kind of like pointed out at me how much I grew out of that. My projection, the way that even though I'm pretty anxious, you guys might probably notice some of my tics, but even so, I was a lot more anxious way back then. Before I had to put myself out there. I remember our first day in that school, they made us all wear unitards. If you know what a unitard is, that spandexy thing. They made us pick. And this is embarrassing, but I'm speaking honest.
I'm going back to public school.
But listen, exactly. So that's an experience, right?
Yeah.
Something that even that day I was like, I am not doing this. Everybody else did it. So why not do it?
Yeah.
It's not going to change who I am or make me a different person. But this was a little embarrassing. They made us pick an animal, and we had to literally crawl out of the classroom around the whole school with our unitards, imitating this animal. So imagine that type of theater practice or an example.
Where is that?
But stuff like that, we got to take the best out of everything. So I know that everything that I've gone through has made me the man I am today. And still at my 30 years old, it's interesting to hear your experience being 30, the fact, Abdul, like you just recalled, having started my people during that same time.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, for some reason, I believe that I still have a lot more to learn. That also comes from the fact that I've always been in school. Like, I feel like I was born and raised in a school. I come from family members that are teachers. My mom was a teacher for a time when I was in school. From school to college, from college to a master's program. This is the actual only time in my life where, since I graduated 2 years ago in May, I haven't been automatically enrolled into a school and that type of environment, along with everything else that I'm doing as I grow as an adult. So that has been definitely a unique transition in my life, which has taught me the fact that I actually want to go back and I want to pursue my doctorate degree, which was always my original plan of going to Connecticut, move to Connecticut, get your master's degree, hopefully get your doctor's degree, and feel more prepared.
You got to stop saying hopefully and just say I'm going to get my master's, my doctor's degree. It's like
going to get it.
There's no hopefully. It's either you're gonna, it either is or isn't. I'm going to do it.
It's part of the affirmation.
Yes.
Say I am.
It's going to happen. And I know, and I'll add this because I've heard it before, and I'm sure other young men of my generation might possibly feel the same, meaning I know that there's more people like me that have all these ideas and these things that we want to do to basically cement ourselves in the world that we live in. But at this current time, 2024, that financial piece plays a humongous part in whatever transition or growth you're trying to have as a human being.
Right.
Again, coming from having told you how impulsive I am regularly, in the same aspect, I am impulsive to keep myself back from actually trying some new things or new ventures with fear that the reality is that, like I said before, if we can rewind and I am a belief that you need to fall to be able to stand back up and learn from that fall.
Not?
But nobody really wants to fall and at the next day not really have something that you can, help you stand up or pay that bill.
Well, you gotta take the risk. Like, I mean, it's
True.
like the thing is this: you've been out of school 2 years. You could be out of school another year for all that matters. But if in your mind you wake up every day saying like, I need to get my doctorate,
Definitely.
every day. I talked to somebody today who's currently in a doctorate program. Our good friend Kevin Booker. He's currently in his doctorate program. He's a year from getting his doctorate. And he was like, after I get my doctorate, I'm going to go back to school and get a law degree. So for most people, you get a doctorate, that's the terminal degree. he's already planning for his next degree.
Good.
And so what I would say is just like never stop dreaming.
Correct.
Go ahead and do what
that.
you got to
Yeah.
do. You know. So all right. So is there anybody that you know from your neighborhood that you look up to as a role model? That you said like this person, they made it, they did it. They're somebody I could look at and say I can emulate them. I can steal something from them. I can be like them.
No.
Nobody.
No.
So who are you stealing from? What if anybody? What if you So forget about.
I do comps. I realize what I do. All right, my cousin Chris.
Yep.
Chris Brown went to Spike Lee.
Yes. Yes.
So he was asking me about the Carlton Hines doc. I'm like, y'all just and shoot it, but they don't like, He's like, hey, what's the comp? I'm like, comp? What you mean?
Yeah.
Comparison. I'm like, Benji's doc.
Right.
So he was telling me how he does what he does, how he finds out. He'll get to transcribe something. He would transcribe the whole movie.
Yep.
And find out when those hits happen in the dialogue, so he can so that's the comp to the movie.
Yes.
So whatever they do, you do it.
Yes.
And I was like, I do that all the time. What do you mean? I believe in don't change the wheel. The wheel's circle.
Yes.
Wheel works. All you gotta do is put some spokes on it, shine it up, armor on.
Right.
It's a wheel. It's a wheel. You can't
Right.
change the wheel.
Yes.
Right. So videos. So if I watch something and I like it,
you look at what they did behind the scenes.
I'll download the whole movie. I'll download the whole trailer.
Right.
See when they cut, and I've realized why they cut and why they didn't cut.
Yep.
Every 2 seconds, and now I realize everybody likes 2-second videos. 2-second clips.
Yep.
No longer than 4-second clips.
Right.
I learned certain things from that because I'm just doing the comps.
Yes.
So it's like I learn from watching other people, and I just take it, and
right.
then it's like remixing.
Well, who is your top guy? Like, I put a name on it. Put a name on it. Right now, on your journey or currently, if you say, this is a guy that I really respect. I like his work.
I don't know. I can't even say anybody.
Nobody?
No, not particularly.
What about you, Hector? One person. Is there anybody?
Yes, I can say, if I can just name one person.
You can name two if you want.
I would say my stepfather.
Okay.
My stepfather definitely was a beacon of hope to me and a role model.
Mm-hmm.
A role model that I definitely followed and still follow, coming from the fact that the importance of a stepfather in your life, filling so many roles that some might not have filled correct if they don't have that same circumstance. Definitely, I can say that I learned a lot. Having the preconception notion that because he wasn't my real father, it wouldn't be the same experience as I would see other siblings or other friends of mine having with their own parents at home. Mm-hmm. Definitely, I can say that I learned a lot and continue to learn a lot from him.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would say my father as well, but I also feel like people like Michael Williams. Like, I know for a fact there's certain people I used to be like almost gay to have a meeting with them, because I was like, this dude. If I can even meet with this dude, I'm gonna learn something. I'm gonna get something. I'm gonna be able to pitch my idea. And so I feel like these aren't people from my neighborhood, but I mean, these are people that in the field that we work in. There were times where I really looked at them and saw them as like the next level, And I mean, it's crazy because as the older you get, it's almost like you may not see them revere them the same exact way, because when you're younger, everything I think looks brighter and bigger. Mm-hmm. But I think that it was definitely like dope to be able to say like, yo, at the time he was like the office director of Hartford, and one of the first big meetings was, okay, we got a meeting with him. And that's like, yo, let's see what happens from that. So having people like him in our field and being able to meet with them and see how they're moving, I really like that.
Most of the people that are in my field at that time, were not good people.
Oh.
They weren't good.
They weren't good?
They did what I did.
Yeah.
As I get older and realizing I wouldn't have done what they did to me, or how they treated me, or how they reacted.
Right.
So those people that I thought were, and I wanted to go do stuff with them and like show them like how I am.
Yeah.
I always think, how come you can't see
your greatness?
Yes. How come you can't see how I care? Not even that. Like, I care more than the average person.
Right.
Because people come around, but they never could see that I care more than the average person. So no one ever saw me.
So you feel like they used you or something like that, or they kind of looked past you?
They used me for what they for what the job was.
Yeah.
But they didn't see anything else.
They didn't see your potential.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I never understood that.
So that's the thing that I felt like. Sometimes I feel like that. Sometimes I feel like that. Like people can't see my potential. But I feel like like Michael Williams. I feel like he opened the door, and he actually fought for us in a way that, like I used to go to meetings at DCF, and those meetings used to turn into a lot of money. A lot of opportunity. We have a chance, and so like that was the thing is like I always appreciate. Somebody may not be able to give me money, but they can give you a chance. And I felt like that was the thing to say, like, yo, we're going to at least give you a chance. And then you can either succeed or fail,
I think I've given more chances to, like, kids and people than the people did for me.
Right.
Already. Not even 50. I think I've done it already. And I think people can do more, but they just, for whatever reason, people are who they are.
Right.
So
I think a lot of times people don't realize how easy it is just to give a lift up. It don't take nothing from you.
No, not at all.
You could give somebody a lift up, and then you could just kind of like.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
If you learn, you master something. You're supposed to teach those that don't know how to do. That wants to learn what you're doing, but you've mastered it.
Yeah.
Your duty should be to teach them what you've mastered at no cost. Why if they can't pay, don't let them pay.
Right.
Because I could teach you everything. But if you don't apply what I teach you, you're not going to make any money.
Right.
It's still got to apply what you're being taught. So it's the application of it too. So I could teach you whatever.
But the other thing is, so you talked about comps before, right?
Yeah.
But there is no competition. I think people think that they're creating their competition.
Right. No.
There's no competition. No. I'm running my race.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why I say to you, if you like want to get into the social work field crazy and do something wild, I'm not worried about you. Because I can't. Your success doesn't take anything away from my success. As a matter of fact, if you were to leave my people, start an agency, be successful, it would actually be a branch off the my people tree.
Of your success.
Because you would say, well, I used to work at my people for X number of years. You had to get something working at my people, So at the end of the day, I feel like it's like I think too many people think we're in competition. Mm-hmm. Early in my career, when there used to be a lot of agencies like they were doing the same thing as us, I used to feel like we were in competition. That's the mindset they try to put in our minds, that we're in competition. Mm-hmm. And over the years, I learned that it never would, like all of us could eat. There was enough. Yes. There was enough for us all to eat. And there's always enough.
You know what a perfect example of that is? You
What?
know what I think about it?
What?
Everybody sells burgers.
Everybody sells burgers.
Right? So you're going to stop selling burgers because they sell burgers? No. Our burger's a little different. Okay, all right, so that's why you sell it. So it's that way in all of life, but in certain situations, people make it feel as if it's like I'm competing against you. Because if you work together, you'll achieve a lot more if you work together. But if you're competing,
over by my house, there's a McDonald's, there's a Wendy's, there's a Burger King. Oh yeah, this is all within a half a mile of each other. There's a Taco Bell, all of it. Subway. You like you said, and in between all that, there's like Ruby Tuesday, all of that.
yeah.
Everybody got a burger. And it's like so it's like when we used to do mentoring and everybody was doing mentoring, it don't matter. We're only gonna get the referrals we're gonna get. Mm-hmm. And so that's the thing that once you can clear your mind, like you're thinking like that you are in competition with somebody else or you're trying to beat out somebody else, once you can clear your mind of that and just do your thing at the highest possible level, you get unstoppable then. Is there anybody like you right now?
I'm my worst critic. I don't know. But
I'm saying like if you I don't know. Like I know that there are people like you don't consider yourself a wedding videographer, right? You what do you consider yourself?
I wrote down everything I've done. I don't do I do weddings.
You're pretty diverse, right?
Right, but most of my money is off monthly packages. I'm trying to do workshops.
I like that package thing.
Monthly packages, the workshops.
Do you consider yourself a traveling producer?
Not really. Like I'm trying to get away from actually holding the camera too much. That's what the monthly retainer.
I wish you could have been here today. Ramon Peralta, you know Ramon. Yeah. He came here today. He was doing a video for the Governor's Prevention Partnership. Mm-hmm. We all did a little clip. Mm-hmm. He's the owner. He could pull up in his Porsche Cayenne, all black, blacked out package. Shout out to Ramon. And he brought with him his videographer.
Yeah.
And he basically directed. It was crazy. I was like, this dude ain't even touching the camera. And he had on a little Peralta T-shirt.
Yeah.
What I used to tell you to wear in any video. He had a polo, had a Peralta polo on, and he had a pair of shorts on, and he was just chilling over here talking yappy yap yap, and the video guy was doing all the video stuff. That's the next level of where you're going, in a sense.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Like I don't want to I don't necessarily. Like right now, I have it so I can have people go film for me.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing people don't do for me is edit. Like I enjoy it.
You like editing?
And it's quicker and I have whatever. So now it's the monthly packages, right? It's the workshops.
I would like to see some of those workshops online. Like I would like to see you get on in the green screen and just do an hour on something.
Yeah, see that's your boy Ed Kravitz. He wants me to do that.
Yeah. Please don't call. Please don't have Ed call.
Have him call you. Because you already did some speaking, some talking head stuff. So
no, please.
But so I want to tape one of my workshops. My workshops are all it's hard to tape because for example they basically start off as the first couple of days I take them out. We go out to nature.
Yeah.
Right. And give them a camera and I kind of explain before I'll show them what I do. Then I'll explain to them angles and tell them how you tell the story. It's all about storytelling.
Right.
For example, if you go in every morning, you walk into your office, you sit down, turn your computer on.
Yeah.
Right. So if I film that, and I say edit that. So it's different ways I can have you walking in the room.
High, low. Different outfits.
Right. So you got to figure out that way to make it more creative.
Yeah.
So I'll give them all that information. Then we'll go somewhere to a park, and I'll give them a camera. We're going to be in this park right here. I'll give you a half hour. Film something.
Right.
Right. Make a story out of something.
Yes.
Like you're picking up a flower, skipping a rock. But you gotta have just the creative part. So they'll go there, they'll think that, then they'll come back, and I'll show them how to lay that all out. So when you go edit it, you kind of have it already figured out. So you're not jumping into the program look at this.
You thought about it before you got in the program,
right?
Yep.
So then I'll show you how to do exactly what you did. And as you do that over and over and over again, you put it in. Then I'll kind of add on the ads, the add-ins the dissolves, the transitions. I'll add in those things to improve your story.
Right.
But you need your story first.
Yes.
Everything I tape always is the story.
Yes.
The event has a story.
It has a story.
Listen to you.
Yep.
See what you're saying. Maybe I transcribe it.
Yep.
See what you put the story together. Then put the video over with the audio version of the story.
Yes.
So I teach them that part. So I think once they learn that, everything else, if you know how to put that into everyday life, maybe you own a store, have a product. If you put that in to tell a story about the product, you can wrap your head around how to write a storyboard, then put it into the camera. Put it into the computer, then edit for yourself.
Right. I love it.
So that's what I'm trying to.
More workshops, more retainers. I love it.
Listen, I said it first. It's only a matter of time before we're all collaborating with Alonzo Beckett Production Academy.
I want an academy.
I see that happening.
Let me write that down.
The workshop academy.
Are you gonna call it the Alonzo Beckett?
I don't want
I was going to say
any Beckett, any Beckett Academy.
Yeah,
Zoe would love that. My son would love that.
Hey, legacy.
So this is the Any Video. What do you call it?
Production Academy.
Any Video. I'm gonna write this down. Production.
So you do the podcast too, or we do these too. That's right. Remember these?
Academy.
So we do this.
Yes.
Create their own podcast too, so they come in the studio, sit down.
I like it.
You have those mics like this, though, stand-up ones like this.
Yep.
And the chairs you already have, you swing them in.
Yep.
You can have there, but they probably want these, right?
They like this. This is it. You can use that. You can use this setup if you ever want to. I mean, feel free to stop by.
You know what I mean?
Boom. All right. So as we get close to the wrap up, what advice would you give to a young person, a young man, a young adult who is in transition right now? Where they're maybe they're
30,
getting ready to leave the island. Maybe they're gonna come to Connecticut. Maybe they're gonna go to Arizona. I don't know where they're going. What advice would you give them to help them out? Something you might have needed that you didn't get.
Well, I'll start. I'll say the advice that I needed to hear constantly, which was stay focused on your goals. Focused.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what changes might come about in your journey to meet those goals, just stay focused.
Yes.
I I also say it could be helpful, coming from my own experience, to seek support from mentors. Coming from that videotaping you were just talking about that we did earlier today, mentorship is such an important aspect of service that most of us kind of take it for granted.
Yeah.
Some people, I remember growing up where mentorship, maybe I didn't feel too much about it. To hear advice, I'll just go talk to my mom or dad or this or that. But no, it's so much different. It's like a life coach. It's somebody. Yes. Again, like I said with my own example, where I've always been more comfortable sharing my things with other people than with the prime people that are in my life because of fear of letting them down or fear of saying something wrong.
Right.
You don't have to have those fears with a mentor.
That's right.
Mentors are there to help guide you, and until you're set in your own way.
Yeah.
So I know that that's very important. And never forget to be adaptable. By that meaning, like embracing the learning process.
I love it.
And learning from it.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what about you? Any advice for a youngster?
Adding on to what he said.
The
mentorship. Find someone that you look up to.
Yeah.
And go reach out to them. Find a way to reach out to them. Because 9 times out of 10, 9.5 out of 10, they'll talk to you. Because they understand the position you're coming from. So I think that believe in find those positive people, or like I know as a young kid you have a life that you personally dream of, and you have to find people in your community that are living that life, and then reach out to them, be around them.
What just popped in my head? Even at our age, I feel like you need to find somebody that's living the life. Even now,
I do too. I do.
Like I'm looking for somebody right now that's living the life I really want to live.
Who lives a great life?
Who?
Greg, man.
Greg Jones?
Yes, man. He be golfing and going. I'm like, yo, Greg. I told him, I was like, I love you. He's like this, brother. You do. Yeah. Seems like you got look at the new electric one. I was like, what kind of car? It's electric car? So that's new. I never seen this one.
Oh, what do you got?
I know it's electric car. I don't know. I don't even know what it's called. Is it a Polestar, I think it is.
Oh, yeah.
One of them?
Yeah.
But it just looks weird in the back.
Yeah.
But it looks nice.
Yeah.
And he's golfing all the time.
He's living his life. Yeah. He made the money early.
Right. So
you make the money, you can do that.
So at that age, I'm like, it wouldn't be, like you said before, I think you said, like, it's not like you want his life, but it's like, at that age, I'll be okay with that.
Yeah. It's good to have people to look at.
It's good. You know what I'm saying? So I see him. So he's like, hey, I see what he's doing. I watch what he's doing. I ask questions. I do, because I want to see what's going on.
Right.
Because then, so I can kind of know.
Yes.
Because that's the person I see that's older than I am. Right. Successful and older than I am. He's a black man, and he does things for the community, which I love. And he does it. So like, man, that's a good brother. So it's like you as well, but you're not that old.
I'm not that old.
So you kind of.
I'm right.
I try to get you.
Try to make me be older.
I try to make you older. I try to make you Greg Jones older. But you
older and wiser.
No. I'm like a year. I'm like 18 months older than you. Let's be clear.
You're closer to me than Greg, so.
Yeah, much closer. Much closer. You're going to be 50 next year, right?
No. I'm 48.
Oh, look at you.
76.
So 76.
2026 is the big.
So you're you're like 2 brothers down. You're Kareem's age.
Yeah, 2026 is the greatest party ever coming.
Okay.
But you.
Calm down. No competition.
There's no competition. Let's stop.
I'm about to have they show again.
That's the only way. That's the only way. We don't want to talk about that party. All right. My advice to a young person in transition is, I would say get a mentor. I would say talk to as many people who are living the way you would like to, like living the life of your dreams. If you see somebody getting it like that, talk to them. You don't got nothing to lose. Hey, I would also say smile. Smile, young men. Don't be walking around with the grill on, looking all mean all the time. Smile. Look approachable. Look like, be willing to accept some advice. Be able to take a joke too. Somebody older might say a little joke. Don't take it to heart. Just be like open to it. You know what I'm saying? But the biggest thing is that don't be afraid of the new opportunities too.
Sure.
When you go to a new place, when you put yourself in a new space, the way that you might have grown up, the way that you are going to be in the future is not the same. The goal is for you to be able to have more, to be able to experience more life. Not to be like, okay, like you said early in the podcast, if your family lived this way, all your generations, No, our goal for every generation is to take it up a little bit. We want to take it up a notch. And so the only way you're going to do that is to put yourself in a circle that nobody in your family's ever been in.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say that one again. The only way you're going to be able to move your family up a notch is you got to go into a circle that nobody in your family has ever been in. We're going to let that one sit on you for a second. All right. I'm going to jump to the beard update. I feel like we've talked enough about the show tonight. I feel it was a good show. As you can see, my beard, I let my barber clip it down a little bit. I shouldn't have done that. If I would have known Hector was coming, I knew Hector was coming on. But his beard is looking extremely
young,
luscious, healthy, strong.
I remember the point he couldn't get a beard. Remember that?
Trust me, I remember.
This was not very long ago.
Not very long ago.
But now he has to have a beard, I think.
No, he shaved it off.
Nah, I don't think he likes it though. Because he didn't like it. He's like, he had to grow it back.
There's a time.
I personally don't like people with bigger beards than me to come on the show, so I say you should cut it off.
Well,
shave it before the show.
I hope that doesn't get me in trouble, but Abdul, you were a prime. I don't know what I'm thinking. Instigator, but it's not instigator. You were a prime source of why I reignited my journey to bring back the beard. Because if you recall,
the only two beards in office.
We're only two beards in
the
office.
No,
but Hector, he had a good beard last summer, and he kept going lower and lower with his cut.
I kept messing with it.
But this time,
don't mess with it. Let your barbers do what they do best.
He's talking now.
Just pay, get it done. Don't touch it.
Don't touch it.
But I say don't touch it. But I don't know if Abdul agrees. This is something that I've done to basically keep it as healthy as it is. But it's a content maintenance. So it's making sure you're brushing your beard, making sure you're washing your beard with not just with regular soap, with specific beard oils, soaps, and things of that.
He's giving you the juice.
It helps. It helps.
Don't want it.
You don't
want it.
He's got a little soul patch on his chin. I used to rock the soul patch.
Use a beard.
That was my look for years, and then I was like, I'm growing a beard.
I'm growing a beard. Everybody can use a beard.
You know what? I haven't been keeping up on 156-day challenge, but I have been working out. I just want to say that.
Just on a bike a couple of days ago.
I was on a bike, I was on yoga. I'm about to go on June 29th. We're going to do a hike. So just so everybody, whoever's listening, June 8th, Brotherhood yoga's canceled.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, Booker's going to be out of the country. Joaquin is going somewhere, so we're not going to do yoga. Right. But on June 29th, we're going to do a hike, Talcott Mountain. Okay. And then we're going to come off the mountain and we're going to do a smoothie takeover at Head Over Berries on Blue Hills Avenue. This is all healthy stuff.
See if I can. You'll see. We'll see. We'll see the ingredients. Because they're going to have
yogurt. It's going to be fruit.
I would only trust them if I'm with you.
Coconut milk.
Let's see.
Coconut
real
milk.
Coconut.
Yeah, right. You could actually get water as well.
We'll see.
So, but one of the things that I talked to Booker. Booker is going to continue to sponsor at least once a month men's hikes, and we're going to do once a month yoga. So now we have, in addition to other men's health events that we might do, we have these stables at least until like late to November. We'll do that once a month, and then we'll add in some other. We'll probably do something with the doctors, do something with some other organizations to get men's health
on a show here.
We could. I've been trying to work with Trendy Health on that. Let's see what we could pull together.
To the doctors.
Not
the one that talks a lot.
I know exactly.
You know that guy's in trouble.
All right.
I don't know if it's too much to say, but maybe we can bring back the bikes.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do slow roll this summer. We're waiting for Zoe to get his electric bike.
I should get one too.
Yeah. Get an electric bike. Don't be a superhero.
The gym's for the gym.
Just get an electric bike just in case you don't want to pedal. All right. We're wrapping up. Any manhood-ish you did this week in the last 7 days, the manhood-ish you did. You want to start us off, Hector? Any manhood-ish that you did? Something you would consider manhood that you did in the last 7 days?
Having to do with manhood.
Or a little brotherly advice. I'll give you a choice. You can tell me some manhood-ish you did, or a little brotherly advice. I have some good manhood issues.
Well, I have the manhood issue.
What'd you do?
I don't like it, but I got tricked into it by my mom, I think.
What?
So my mom sees a flight. She's coming in August. mom's leaving in Barbados. They built the house. They're leaving, so she's coming. So she needed a plane ticket. I'll buy a plane ticket. So I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
So she sent a cash app for like $250.
Right.
I'm like, oh, that must be the plane ticket. I think, boom,
Yeah.
send it to her. Chilling. So I told my wife, I just bought my mom's plane ticket. She'll be here. She was like, yeah? She said, yeah. I was like, yeah, I did. I was showing her, and I went and read the message. My mom wanted to go. That's not the $250 I sent her. That wasn't for the flight.
What was it for?
That was for a convention, a Jehovah's Witness convention she wanted to go to for
the
weekend.
Yeah.
No. But
you sent her the money.
Right, but my mom don't practice Jehovah's Witness no more.
Oh.
That was like she did that when we were younger, so we didn't have Christmas.
So
I knew that. I knew that. But now I'm like, why is she going? So I don't know what my mom.
Maybe she's getting back in.
So my manhood issue is that I paid for my mom's flight, I think.
Yeah. Hey, that's good. High level.
Yeah, but I don't know what she's doing with it. She's
living her life.
She's a reborn Jehovah's Witness.
You know, come up with something?
Yes, I'll share that, especially recently between last week and this week, I've been able to play a very good male role model role for some of my students in my Supporting Pregnant and Parenting Teens program, if that's okay to mention.
Yeah, why not?
I work a program called Supporting Pregnant and Parenting Teens, and just like in the name, we support them.
Yeah.
And I know that I've been able to, again, provide that mentorship, that role model purpose to some of my young men who, not only because I'm purposely making sure in a joking way to remind them that they are the future of not only the United States, but of my culture, my Puerto Rican culture.
Yes.
Some of them are Puerto Rican. So putting myself as a good example, it's not hand-holding, it's guiding. So basically, I don't want to say that I'm making magic here, but the magic is being there for somebody, stand back, let them do their magic, and see what comes out of it. And a lot of things come out just when you're there supporting somebody. You're going to be doing the work for them. You're not going to be on top of them helicoptering the whole event or the whole process. It's a matter of being there for someone. It's so important.
Manhood.
Never heard that expression, helicoptering. I like
Yeah. my manhood ish, this weekend I put in some flowers in my backyard, doing a little gardening.
Do you get as you get older? Do you like that more?
I love gardening. I love getting in the backyard.
When did you start? You always like gardening?
Yeah, ever since. Right now, I'm about to do this major project in my backyard.
Mulch and all that stuff.
Yeah. I get the mulching. But now this year I let my son do the mulch. I didn't do the mulch. I let him do it. But bitch, I'm gonna expand my flower beds. So I took some spray paint and I spray painted it out. So I could be able to decide this weekend since we're not doing yoga, I'm going to dig that part out and then go buy me some new flowers.
You shouldn't buy flowers. What? Just get fruit. Some veggies in it.
No, I don't want any fruit and veggies. No, I want flowers.
Veggies.
No.
They should go to the back and get some parsley and stuff right fresh from the garden, some tomatoes.
I'm going to put some flowers back there. So I'm going to dig it up.
What kind of flowers you putting there?
Some yellow flowers, some red flowers,
yellow, red,
pink. I like colorful stuff. Maybe a little tree. We'll see what they do. Mostly all my bushes in the back are like. I have a big, really big, what are those things called? Hostas. I have 3 really big hostas.
Those types of bushes.
They're plants.
See, I see.
They're like this big.
I see you working with bonsais.
My brother does bonsai, but I'm gonna get out there in the dirt. I like to be like I wear these kind of clothes, but if I didn't have to come to work, I have this little one-piece outside outfit.
I can't imagine.
I would wear that joint every day.
I can't imagine.
I got my little rubber boots. I'll be in the backyard just digging stuff, cutting trees down. I do stuff like that all the time. So that was my manhood ish. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been another show. We're always in transition, just so you know. We're always in transition, whether you're an older man, a younger man, whether you're coming from Puerto Rico, you're going to school in Farmington, you're moving to another state. And the whole key to it is just keep moving forward. Yes. Don't let yourself down. Believe in yourself. And what do we say? Never stop dreaming. Hey, we're out of here, people. We'll see you next week. Next week we have a motivation off with Matthew Rivera and Malik Champlain. This would be a good one, folks. They're gonna come and motivate you for the rest of your summer. Tune in. I might join in on this one.
I
I've
at
been,
least be
He's
honest.
definitely.
I am getting myself prepared for the motivation of. Ow!